Evening, my darlings. Here we are in the last week of March this year. It's Monday, the 22nd of March, 2021. Good evening. Welcome to our little chin wag of a chat show this evening, coming to you live from Television Centre here in Royal Berkshire. My feet are aching. Oh, my feet. I went out. It wasn't any sort of longer. I went on my longest litter pick that I do. Now, there's a pond over in Swinley Forest called Mill Pond. It's a lovely place. Occasionally I've posted up pictures of the pond on my Facebook thing there. And it's so nice and peaceful, but it's a long walk there, you know. And I left here with a parcel to Steve Murray, who won the bingo last night, and a letter to America. And what was the other one? There was another one as well that went out this morning. Oh, there were three altogether. Who was the other one now? Someone won a sticker. Oh, I can't remember who it was now. Anyway, they all went off this morning. And rather than just go to the place and start litter picking, what tends to happen now is that I start picking as soon as I leave the house. I mean, if you're walking past somewhere, it seems a little bit pointless leaving something on the floor because you're not going to do that bit today. Do you know what I mean? So I got to the post office, dropped my letters off. I already had collected a couple of plastic bottles and a can, which I disposed of in a nearby public bin, and carried on my walk round. And then went up the mud path, which kind of runs parallel to this really busy road called 9 Mile Ride. And then you cross over there, and I happened to already know there were 2 cones that I'd spotted a couple of days before. Now, this is the same place. You remember I told you I spotted a wheel? I've already picked up 3 tyres from... 3? Oh, yeah. 3 tyres on separate occasions over in the forest. How'd you get... I mean, why? Why would you... Why not... I'm not being funny, but if you're dumping a tyre, why would you take it into the forest? Why not just dump it by the side of the road? Which is just as illegal. But do you see what I mean? I don't know what goes through these people's heads, really. But anyway, I'd already found the 3 tyres, as I told you. And last week, I discovered a wheel. That is a wheel and a tyre, you know, on this thing. Oh, also this week I found a hubcap. 2 hubcaps this week. Oh, you find it all, dear. Perhaps I should open my own eBay. I'll have to have a word with my nephew and see what's worth taking home and maybe selling on eBay. I don't know. Do people buy one hubcap? Yeah, they must do, mustn't they, when you think about it? Have you ever lost a hubcap at all? This was I think it was a Vauxhall one, actually. Vauxhall one. A little bit chipped around the side, but, you know, hey-ho. Must have been... No, I don't dare say it, dear. I'll only get abusive messages. My sister. Oh, no, I've said it now. I think it might have been my sister with the chipped wheels. Trying to reverse into a parking place, bless her heart. Yeah, so I detected this wheel a few days before, but I couldn't carry it because I had some other stuff. So this time I've crossed the road. I've got an empty, just a couple of things in the bag. I thought, right, I'll have this. This was on Saturday. Let's see how heavy this is. And I managed to pick it up, and it was a little bit of an effort, but I managed to pick it up and take it to a collection point, I call it. A collection point. The council allows us to put stuff, if you're registered, next to a sign, you take a photograph of it and they come and collect the stuff, you see? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's one of the perks of registering, although you can't register anymore because they're full up. There's loads of people doing this litter collecting around here. Have you got the same where you are? So I managed to take the tyre to the collection, but take your tyre. Tyre number 1 to collection point B, please. Oh, it's like being at Argos. Not that I ever go there. Good God, no. Good God. Do you go to Asda? What's all that? Not Asda, Argos. Argos. Ticket number 671. Just a moment. Ticket number 671 to collection point C, please. Ticket number 557 to collection point D, please. Always makes me laugh, that thing at Asda, right? Because there's like 4 collection points. A, B, C, D. And there's only one fella or one lady doing the parcels, right? So that one might come there, then you might have one there, and there's no one else in the bloody shop. It's bad. I think it's just designed to keep you interested in being in there. There'll be you and 2 other people there, right? Hardly a queue, and yet the collection points keep changing to different parts of the shop. I mean, you could be running around there for hours waiting. Hours! Not that I go to... it's all delivered from John Lewis. Anything I order is delivered from John Lewis. We don't need to save 10 pence, you know, buying the cooker from there when you can have it delivered with nice people in green uniforms from John Lewis, if there's one still open near you. Anyway, so I've dropped the tyre off. That was on Saturday. So today... As I said to you, I'd spotted a wheel with a tyre on it, you know, attached. That's gone on Saturday, but there were also 2 cones, and I'd already mentally taken a note of these, okay, to do on the next visit, because no one else is going to pick them up. Well, I mean, someone might, but very rarely, if you spot something there and you can't take it, perhaps it's a bit big, right, leave it, come back the next day, it's still there. So today, I picked up a cone. I got a little bit like my nose. Look, I could be a cone, couldn't I? Look, hang on. I'm like a cone now, aren't I? Do you think I'm like a cone? Look. You know, no cars allowed past this cone. Thank you very much. Picked up the cone and I placed it at collection point A, please. I was quite pleased with myself. Then I unloaded a couple of little bottles and things that I collected as well on the way. And off I went to Mill Pond. And I always seem to get lost going there somehow. And, I go round, I got down as far as, like, the main road. And then along the side, well, the path kind of almost stops and just becomes this muddied, wet area. And the whole joke of it is, on Saturday, I did exactly the same thing. I get lost. I do get lost a lot anyway. And I'm struggling along in between this road and the water and the stream and the mud, and there was a couple of items there. Saturday, I think I picked up a petrol canister there. Petrol canister, and I try usually and empty it first. I tipped it out upside down, and this yellow, I kid you not, yellow gunge stuff just come out of it. You know, I try not to touch things. You know, I've got my litter picker and tip that out. This yellow gunge is coming out. End up on the floor before I put it in the bag, because otherwise it just weighs too much. But once you've picked one of those up, there's not a lot left much more in the bag, to be honest. Incidentally, you can't just go over there with a rubbish bag, you see, because it's just like a thin piece of plastic. What you got to do, I've got a Sainsbury's recyclable bag, you know, the big orange ones, and what I tend to do with the bin liners is line it with that, and then it's got the 2 handles, right? So I pick it up there, and once again, I'd gone the wrong route again. I thought, you've done it again. And the only other way is to go all the way back from where you've come and round the other side. I thought, I'll persevere. So I've gone down this bit again, and I managed to struggle through. And eventually I got to Mill Pond, so I was quite pleased about myself. There were 2 boys on their bikes, just sitting by the pool, chatting away. So I said hello to them. A couple of old people wandering around, people with dogs. And they always come and talk to you. But when they see what you're doing, people always come and talk to you and thank you and why do you do this and all that. It's quite funny, actually. I had a phone call while I was out from DJ Swish, who you'll know on Reach on here. He's on usually after me at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I think there's a couple of days he can't do this week. And he was saying, look, do you want the extra hour, sort of 10 to 11, so you can do 9 till 11? But I said to him, actually, thank you very much, but I like to be done by 10. Otherwise, it starts interfering with your day. And it certainly would have done today. You know, he said, you said you wanted a bit longer. Yeah, I'd like it on the other side, sort of 8 to 10, rather than 9 to 11. So I thanked him for it. It's very kind of him to offer me the extra hour for a couple of days. But 10 o'clock, I like to be done by 10, you know. By 10:15, I'm out. I'm out the door by 10:15, honestly. And he was saying that, you know, but... and then he said, what are you doing? I said, well, I do litter picking. He said, and then he says, is it like community service? I beg your pardon, dear. I don't break any laws. Community service? I'm not in bleeding Bristol, mate. God's sake. Is it like community service? How rude. Never been in trouble with the police. Oh, yes, I have. One, I lie. I had a pirate radio station once in the 1980s. That got me in a not really, what's it called? Not really police type trouble, if you see what I mean. It was more of a I don't know what the word you'd use actually. You're not like doing something. I don't know what word you use, but it wasn't the police who prosecuted. It was the Home Office at the time. I mean, God help me, if Priti Patel was in charge at the time, I would have been dead, darling. She don't muck around. Don't muck around with Priti. I'm telling you now that, mate. Don't muck around with Priti Patel. Shocking state of affairs. Because she's Home Office, isn't she? Good job she weren't in charge of the Home Office in the 80s when I had my pirate radio station. She would have turned up at that door in that leather dominatrix outfit and the whip. Naughty Christopher. Oh dear, community service. How dare you? There are some lads who do community service in their little orange tracksuits down the road. I spend hours watching them. From the Offenders Institution, whatever it's called. Anyway, so I carried on my journey, walked around the pond. I thought, there's not much here, and then I found it. The bush. When I say the bush, there's always a bush which seems to collect a lot of the rubbish. And there it was. Plastic bottles, paper cups, all around this beautiful pond. I mean... Oh, and an entire empty wine bottle, which hadn't been there long because it was clean. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I pick up a lot of stuff, plastic bottles and that are absolutely caked in mud and dirt. And you know they've been there for years. They don't, and this is the problem. They don't disintegrate. If you don't pick them up, they're going to be still there in 30 years' time. It's awful, awful. Anyway, I managed to do that. And while I was round by the river, that bag got really full. And in the end, I couldn't take any more. Couldn't carry any more, and I'm walking around by the river. And at that point, you really shouldn't be trying to pick up other stuff. But I do, you see. I can't leave it. And there it was, just in reach. A white plastic paint pot type thing floating in the pond. And I've got my pick, and I'm leaning... It came so close to falling in. You would love that, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? You would love it if I fell in that pond, wouldn't you? There's probably parasites in there waiting to eat into my ears and up my nose and in my other holes. Eating me from the inside out. Very dangerous. Anyway, I'm leaning out and I'm just about... And every time I grabbed it, it kind of disintegrated a bit. It's obviously been in there quite a while. It was very brittle. Anyway, I managed to get it out at the end and I pushed it into the bag. And the bag is really full up now. And I'm carrying along round. Anyway, so I've gone round the pole and around the pond and then through these trees. And then you turn right, you see. Once again, this is where I always go wrong again. So I've turned right and I'm walking up this path. And I saw some people coming down towards me. And in between, they're quite far off. In between them and me is this bit between the pond and like a waterway, the other side, like a long stream. Not a natural stream. It's something that probably the forestry people have put there to get water, to collect water. You know what I mean, right? But in between those two, it looked rather muddy. And I'm kind of prodding this mud with my litter picker. Is that going to be all right? Yeah, that looks a bit solid. So I put a step on there, and that was fine. Put that one. I'll put a step on there. That'll be fine. Oh, it doesn't look too bad to me. I thought to myself, and I took another step forward. And my foot just went down. Shut up! It's not funny. My foot just sank straight. It was like quicksand. It would just be me a little bit of quicksand like this. It would have been. I was going down and down. Oh! Help me! A bit like that. It was. My foot went down, and the entire boot sunk into this wet, very soft mud, and about 4 inches of my leg. I thought, anyway, I managed to... When you take it out, it's like suctioning. You know when you take something out of a hole? And it's like that suction noise that comes out. It was just like that when I pulled my foot out. Of course, to pull that foot out, your other leg has to take the pressure. But fortunately, the other one didn't go down. It must have been just that little bit there. And I was unlucky. But I managed to get off it. And surprisingly, those boots I've got, they must be good because my foot didn't get wet. I was so surprised at that. But the whole boot and about 3 inches, 4 inches of the bottom of my tracksuit bottoms, which I just washed, were caked in blooming mud. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so I'm going along this path now. And where the pond is probably the furthest away from my house that I do litter picking. Okay? It's you know, from where I go, sometimes I go round the house a bit further, even further. The pond is probably the furthest away from my house I go. And I'd only just left there, and my foot was covered in mud, and I was tired, and the bag was full up. I mean, really full up. You couldn't get anything else in, but I'd say that. You couldn't get anything else in. So I carried on my journey. I'm walking up this path, and I think, have I got the right path this time? No, I ended up back round the other side of the pond again. But at least I knew where I was. The trouble is, I knew where I was, and I knew I was a long way from the drop-off point at a place called the Lookout in Swinley Forest. But I struggled through. And by the way, those other two people, as they were coming towards me, I said to them, you're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get past it. Oh, really? I said, no, I don't think so. I didn't. And I pointed down at my foot. I said, are you all right? Yeah, we're all right there. No problem at all, really. Anyway, eventually I got to the drop-off point and got rid of my bag and carried on. Put a fresh bag into my carrier bag, and I just carried on, you see. You know, again, you know, once you dropped your stuff up at the point, that's not where my house is. My house is another half an hour away by foot. So it's a bit pointless to just walk home and not pick anything else up if you see it, isn't it, you know? So I'm carrying on this walk, and then I went down a path I don't normally go down. And that path clearly hasn't been done. There's a lot of rubbish there, including a blooming sewing machine. You wouldn't believe what you find when you litter pick. It's not just cans, bottles and sweet packets. There's a bloody sewing machine in the forest. Anyway, I can't take that. Too heavy. I've made a mental note. That's one journey that is on its own. You know? You put that in your bag. I don't think you're going to carry much more. So I've made a mental note of that sewing machine. I shall go and retrieve that as well as the other cone at some point this week, I expect. And I got back here. Now, on the way here... I switched on my Wi-Fi oven, which I used, as you know, last night. By the way, some of you were concerned at my sausage rolls yesterday, including Vectis Humphreys, who I sent a picture to. They were slightly overdone by about 5 minutes. They weren't black, but almost there. So that was last night. Now I turned on my Wi-Fi oven with my mobile phone on the way back because I had some potatoes already in there. But I got back here. I think I might have a problem with it, and that is the clock resets. It seems to happen when you turn the oven on. Now, it's happened once before on Wi-Fi set, and I thought I must have done something wrong. It happened again this morning. It was perfectly all right last night. It worked last night, and they're going to try it again tonight. And it's also happened when I've not been on Wi-Fi. Literally, you know, you click around to fan convector, and then you turn the thermostat round to what it is, and it's supposed to come on, yeah? If you're on normal. So it starts off all right, and then very quickly, the clock just resets. And if the clock isn't set, it doesn't work. So you see what I mean? That was the problem I had setting the damn thing up. I couldn't get anything to work until you set the clock. Then it all bursts into life. Well, of course, if it's on, therefore, and for whatever reason the clock resets, it goes off. Can't be a power cut, because that's what I thought before. The first time it happens, my mate was round, and he said, oh, you must have had a power cut. Look, the clock's flashing. Oh, okay, so I just accepted that. Well, it's 3 times now, so I've got a feeling I've got a problem with it, which is, I hate that. I hate that. You buy something and there's something wrong with it, and now you've got to either send it back or whatever. Of course, there's a lot of boxes and foam polystyrene that was surrounded that. You don't think I've still got that, do you? It's all gone. Binman's taken it. There was so much of it. Generally, I'll keep a box for a while, but this really wasn't in a box. It was just great big bits of polystyrene and a bit of plastic wrapped around it. I haven't got that anymore, have I? Oh, God. One thing after another, innit? Anyway, so that was my day today, gang. Community service. And I ended up being out 3 hours today on my litter pick. And I've done... I must have walked about 6 miles today, I would guess. Let's have a little look on my thing here. Oh, 16,000... Yeah. 6.1 miles. 16,145 steps so far. So far, the way I'm moving around in this chair today, I must be doing at least another 5 miles before we start today, innit, eh? Anyway, so that was my morning there. And that's why I've got aching feet. That meant the lunch was really late because obviously the potatoes hadn't come on. But I'll try it again today. I've got some miniature potatoes in the oven, which I'll be turning on about half an hour before the end of the show, and some sausages and vegetables. And again, my mate came round, right? And I had chips in the oven. He said, have you done my chips? I said, what chips? He said, you said last night you were going to do me some chips. I said, but I spoke to you about 2 hours ago and you said you were going out. Yeah, but you said, oh, Christ. So I had to give him half my chips. You know, so I've woken up after my afternoon sleep and I feel quite a little bit peckish now. I was just going to have like a bowl of soup before bed tonight, but I put some more potatoes in the oven and some vegetables and some sausages, some corn sausages. Very tasty. Right, thanks very much for your text. Let's read some of your texts on the show today. If you're in the chat box or you're new to the show, just to let you know, I don't go in the chat box at all. Okay, those of you that are in the chat box, if you see people trying to talk to me, just put them right, would you, my love? I don't go in the chat box at all. So if you try and talk to me from the chat box, I won't see it. You need to either send me a text up there, top left-hand corner, 07451 287 337, or you can send me an email. That's the wrong thing up there, isn't it? There's the email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address, all right? So use one of those two methods. Hello to Pete Remington. Good evening, Pete. Welcome along to our little hour or so of strangeness and chat and this, that and the other. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Good evening, Rachel. George Bond at the moment is having a Cadbury's chocolate cream egg. No Lent for you, is there, my darling? You should make yourself suffer. We must suffer, George, for Lent, dear. Not one single cheese and onion crisp has been into my mouth. No cakes, nothing. Nothing. I'm hoping on our next weigh-in on Wednesday, I dip just below 13 stone. Fingers crossed this week. It may be the week that I'm able to ring the bell. Have you want one of these, don't you? Want one of these, don't you? Look at this. I love it. I love it. Marvellous, dear. That's what you want. That's what you want, parents. If you've got any children, here, Rachel, get yourself one of these. And you tell your delightful children when they hear that, they come running and see what you require. Absolutely. Hello to Diane Jeb. Good evening, Diane. Hello to Jason Hughes. Mike in Brighton says, how could you forget me? I won the sticker. Oh, it was you, wasn't it? Yes, your sticker's gone off. I expect you'll have that soon. Although someone didn't get their sticker last week. I can't remember who that was now. Probably it'll arrive this week. So fingers crossed. Give things a couple of weeks to arrive. Things are so slow in the posts. Our post here is not good in Berkshire. I lose things coming from here. It's dreadful. Never lost anything sending it from Lincolnshire. Mike says, tomorrow marks the first anniversary when Boris says stay at home. I hope you have preloaded your oven with a delicious dinner. Yes, I have. I got sausages and potatoes in my oven. Good evening to our good friend Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Any news on the River Witham? Level must have really dropped now. I can check. Would you want me to check? Yeah. I can check on my app. Well, I say it's an app. It's more of just a website. If I can find it. 1 minute now. 1 minute. River Witham level at Chapel Hill. Here we go. Yeah, it's really low. Here you go, mate. How are you, Jeff? How's Linda? I hope she's all right. There you go. Look how low that is now. Do you remember a few weeks ago it was almost round to the end there, but really low at the moment, so nice and low, which unfortunately means all the litter will be exposed again. I'm going to be so busy when I go down there. My sister, I think it was my sister or my nephew Gary, he drove past the caravan site a few weeks ago and he said there was a lady out the front picking up litter. It's quite, the more the merrier, you know. I know I don't mean to go on about it, but if any of you are looking for something to do, and I'm telling you now, once you've done it twice, you won't want to stop. It's highly addictive. I've got to find a pot of gold at some point, haven't I? I must find a pot of gold, Jeff. Jeff does that, you know, beep, beep, beep thing. What's that called? Looking for treasure. There, Jeff. When I say treasure, I don't necessarily mean something of great value. My guess is Jeff, my friend Jeff, who's got the caravan next to me. My guess is treasure to him is something old. It's not something valuable. You know, it's something old that someone has had in their hands, like, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 years ago. Fantastic to find something like that, or some sort of thing from the Victorian era. Doesn't have to be a coin, just an implement of some sort, you know, or a piece of pottery. I find that amazingly exciting. There's a disused house, actually, along the River Witham. If you come out the caravan site, turn right, okay, up to the bridge, then go left, okay. You walk along there, you'll find an old dilapidated. There's two places actually. One's a shed, like a. Well, it's a bit bigger than a shed. I don't know what it is really. And then there's a house. But you have to be careful there. You must be very careful. There's a lot of things growing up and all that. Good evening to Paul in Cornwall. Good evening, DJ Sparky. Hello to Mr. Gary Ross. Evening, Gary. Welcome to the show. Hello to John Parrish. Just signed the contract today for his new house. So hopefully moving in soon. A real house at last. Fantastic. Fantastic, John. And then you can sort out the other business with your caravan once you're gone, haven't you? A very sensible way to do it. Very good idea. Wait until you've gone. Yes, absolutely. Hello to Ray Reynolds. Good evening, Ray. Ray says, who's calling the golden shot? Apple number 2, please, Bob. We had the moving targets on that wonderful golden shot. Well, George managed to shoot a moving, like a pendulum thing. Was it an apple that he had there? On the show the other week. Fantastic. He's very good at the archery. I think that's his thing, archery there. It's certainly not dieting, is it, George? KFC, but what have you had for dinner tonight? Well, so far you've told me about the Cadbury's cream egg. What else have you had tonight, George? Aren't you worried about diabetes? Things like that. That's what worries me about people. Thank you, Ray. Good evening to Fran Green. Evening, Fran. Evening to Mick Davenport. Could you come down and litter pick in Bristol, please? We need a few burnt out motors moving. Terrible state of affairs what's going on there yesterday. You know, I'm not convinced it was protesters. The amount of protesters for the particular protest. That sounds stupid. For the I'm not convinced it was the small the protesters who were protesting against the thing, if you see what I mean. They come from about these people find out places that are doing protests and turn up from all over the country. People who just want violence. People who just want to disrupt and smash things up. I tell you what, I'm a bit of a fan of Boris. I know some of you aren't. I am. I'll tell you what his biggest mistake was. Cancelling the bloody water cannons. That's what he needs on these people. Water cannon them. Very painful, apparently. Good. Good. And these people come from all over the country. They find out where there's something going on, and then they turn up and start smashing up things. With people's businesses' windows, people's cars, decent working people like you and me. And that's their life. And you see them there with their braided hair. You know, all the colours of different colours and in their hair, blue and green and all that. You know the sort of people. It's dreadful, dreadful state of affairs. Water cannons. He should never have cancelled those water cannons, if you ask me. Good evening to Michael Lawrence. Evening, young Michael. Nice to see you, my darling. My lovely Michael. Hello to Shania. Good evening, Shania. Shania, what time are we losing you tonight for the rosary? Are we Stations of the Cross tonight as well, dear? Stations of the Cross? Huh? Do let us know. Good evening to Maureen in London. Evening, Maureen. She was playing away on the bingo last night. Evening, Maureen. Hello to Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Oh, there's Jeff again. Linda's fine. Correct anything old that is to be saved, not sold. There you go. He collects anything old. He likes old stuff. You're like, I've got one of these, Jeff. I wonder how old this is. Does it say anything on there? It's quite heavy. Would this be brass? How would I know if that's brass? I don't know what it is. It sounds good, though, this, doesn't it? It's got a really nice long ring to it, you know, and I've got an incorrect... So that could be right. Here's my incorrect buzzer. So, listen. That's the bell, and... Yeah, I love it. The buzzer. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Good evening to Sherry Parish. Thank you, Sherry. Thank God. Have you got? Take the phone off him, dear, before he starts putting pointless messages over, my love. Take that phone off him. Hello, Sherry. George had fish and chips and mushy peas. Oh, I'm not a fan of mushy peas, really. Baked beans. For dinner today, I had chips and baked beans and 2 eggs. Because the eggs are going out of date, so we've got to eat those quickly. Mustn't throw food away, dear. Can't be throwing food away. And good evening to Steve Murray, who won the T-shirt yesterday. That's already in the post for you, Steve. Hopefully you'll get that perhaps even tomorrow. I don't know. All right. Okie doke, gang. 07451 287 337 is our text number as always. Let me just clear those down so I know I've read all the texts, and it's only 28 minutes to 9. I've already managed to read all the texts. I'm quite impressed with myself. UFOs. Have you ever seen one? I haven't ever seen one, but it's a bit odd. We've had a few reports now of large meteors over the last few months landing, haven't we? Now, where are they coming from? It's all... Oh, just a minute. Let me get my music. It's all very strange and mysterious. Where are the meteorites coming from? Are they being sent from another planet somewhere, far, far away? No one would have believed in the 21st century that Earth was being observed. Could they be weapons from a spaceship somewhere? Is it anything to do with coronavirus? What could it be? Yes, we've seen a few meteors coming down. There's one here. Now, this came out on the 20th of March, so 2 days ago. And this is another one. A meteor caused the mystery sonic boom. Something that you get often when you're listening to this programme, a bit of a sonic boom. A meteor caused the mystery sonic boom that was felt across southwest England on the 20th in the afternoon, astronomers believe, and it was caught on camera streaking across the sky. Now, to see something during the daytime, you imagine if you see like a meteor going, it's got to be blooming bright to be seen during the daytime, hasn't it? Unless, of course, it's a cloudy day. A taxi driver in Jersey, that's Jersey here, not New Jersey, Jersey here, caught the meteor entering the Earth's atmosphere and disintegrating at the same time as unlike plastic bottles that are dropped everywhere. They don't disintegrate. Stop dropping them, dear. A taxi driver in Jersey caught the meteor entering the Earth's atmosphere and disintegrating at the same time as residents took to social media after hearing the blast and feeling an accompanying shockwave at around 3 o'clock. Or shockwave. Is that like an earthquake? Is a shockwave? Can you like, ooh, what was that? Like bang. I have to say, when on the occasions, I'm surrounded here by pine trees, sometimes I have to cut one down. If it's leaning right over, for whatever reason, they do come and cut the trees down, and then sometimes it and you feel it. You do feel the shockwave in your house. Doesn't happen very often. It must be a bit like that, I suppose. A spokesman for the Ministry of Defence, this is in the Daily Mail, said that the bang was not linked to any RAF activity. Nothing to do with the planes, dear. Nothing to do with the planes. An astronomer confirmed on social media this evening that he believes the bright light seen in the skies this afternoon was, in fact, a bolide meteor. From the bolide species, perhaps. They've got spaceships. They're up there watching. It's absolutely preposterous to think that we are the only living beings. There must be life out there somewhere. I keep telling keep telling myself that every time I sit here and do a show, there must be life out there somewhere. Where is it, dear? Hello? Is there anyone there? The experts believe that the fireball has likely whizzed above the UK but was not visible from the ground because of cloud cover. But it was visible from the other side of the channel where there were clear skies in Jersey. Anyone been to Jersey? Anyone been there? It's quite a nice place, isn't it? My friend, I don't know where he is now, actually. He was quite old then. About 15 years ago, he had a house. He lived not on Jersey, on a close place to it. Not Guernsey, not Jersey, not Guernsey. Another one. Another island sort of around there somewhere. I can't think where it was now. But the point is, these fireballs, these large meteors, that's not the first one we've had, is it, recently? There's been a few. Maybe more than there normally is. Or maybe we just don't hear about them. Is it UFOs? Isn't it exciting? What if a UFO dropped down in front of you? A little man opens the doors. Do you want to come and see where we live? Would you get on it? Or who would you like to go on it? Would you get on it? Hello? Oh, hello? Yeah, we're from the planet Zig. Do you want to come and see where we live? Would you go up those stairs onto that UFO and go and visit the planet Zig? There's a few people watching the show tonight who are from there, actually. Perhaps they're watching now. Perhaps people from an alien planet are hooked into our signals and are picking this programme up and are watching this programme at this moment, wondering what the hell we do down there. How lucky they are to see me and not Nargam and Shetty. So that's the meteors. And I picked this story up from The Sun, you see. The US has evidence of UFOs moving at non-human speeds. Again, I think there's a few people on this channel who move at non-human speeds, like snails, unless food is offered. I bet old George, when he's out for his walk, he don't go very fast, do you, George? Unless there's a Cadbury's cream egg hanging on a string in front of you. Are you a bit like that, my love? Yes, the US have evidence of UFOs moving at non-human speeds, it says in The Sun, and breaking sound barriers without that sonic boom. Boom! That it's just moving. You're watching it in the sky like this. It's a little bit like my great nieces and nephews when they're offered sweets. Geez, you've never seen people move so fast. You know. Harry! He's watching doing a video game. Harry, are you listening? What have you been doing today, Harry? Harry? How was school? How are you getting on at the football? Do you want some chocolate? And he's there. The word chocolate makes children move at an incredibly fast speed. Perhaps it puts something into them. Like chocolate, you know, when you say chocolate, something goes into their brain, like the computer, and makes it bang, he's there. I've not finished the word chocolate, and he's sitting there next to me. Like that, waiting for the chocolate. Former National Intelligence Director John Ratcliffe, who served during the Trump administration, said on Friday that the Pentagon plans to release a report declassifying UFO sightings on June the 1st. How exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Would you go on a UFO if one landed in front of you? Why don't you ring me and tell me what you'd do? What would you ask the alien species? Phone line is now open, gang. Operators are standing by right now for your calls. There they are, looking exactly the same places as they were last week. The question is, do you remember the name of the lady in the red top that I told you the other day? Eh? Do you remember her? Do you remember? Operators are standing by for your calls. 020814434. Oh, why does that move? I just noticed that. Just a moment. I don't like that. Hang on a minute. I must adjust that. One moment, please. So, what do I have to do to that? Copy that there. Skype. Is it Skype to phone? Just a moment now. Be with you in a moment, gang. Now, that doesn't look right. Now, we put that there like that. And, operators are standing by. Telephone operators. Now, which one is it? Is it that one? Sorry, bear with me a moment. Yeah, it's that one there, isn't it? That one there. Okay, let's get rid of that. And put a new one on there so that it's in the same place. And paste. There we go. It should be in the same place now. Let's just check that. There we go. Oh, that's better, isn't it? I didn't like that. It was jumping. It was jump around, jump around, jump. That one, yeah. Can I just check that? Telephone operators are standing by to answer your calls. Aha! There you go. It doesn't jump anymore. Yes, very professional here, dear. It's all professional. It's not some sad old git sitting in a little bedroom all on his own talking to a webcam. It's all professional in here, you know. Wouldn't know, would you? Anyway, back to this story. There's a lot more sightings that have been made public, said this bloke, Ratcliffe, during a Fox News interview. This is Fox. They say Fox, don't they? Fox. Some of those have been declassified, and we're talking about sightings. We are talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots, or that have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain. Movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or travelling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. Just imagine seeing a craft in the sky. Travelling, I don't know, thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. You do that and it's gone. Not like our planes. Always amazes me when you see a plane in the sky. These planes are going at like 600 miles an hour. And they're like, you know, how is that going at 500 miles an hour? You're thinking to yourself, I can drive faster than that. I think they're lying. Oh, wow. Last summer, the Pentagon set up a UFO task force to detect and analyse sightings of a mystery aircraft that could pose security risks. It was reported that UFO hunters were still working, despite saying that they had disbanded in 2012 and they could make findings public every 6 months. Every 6 months, someone sees something else. It can't all be weather balloons, can it? Or planes. We are being visited. The visitation. I think it's amazing, really. And as I say, I really don't think we can possibly be the only things here. I'm sure not. What do you think? 020-8144-3477 is my number. And our first call today from Mr. George. I'm eating a cream egg, chips, mushy peas and pies and everything. Good evening, George.
Good evening, Chris.
Now, I have to ask, have you got permission from your nan to ring tonight?
Yes.
She's given you permission?
Yes.
Praise my soul, the King of Heaven. To his feet thy tribute bring. Ransom healed, restored, forgiven. Who like me hears praise. We need a bit more beat to some of these hymns, don't you think? Do you sing many hymns, George?
No.
What about your nan? Does she do hymns?
No.
I think she'd like to come to church with me. Perhaps she could become part of my choir.
No, Chris.
Why is that then?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. Perhaps you could ask her.
Probably not, no.
Oh, well, what a difficult call this is. Continue, George. I'll let you speak now. Commence speaking.
I've got a bell like that.
Have you? Could you play it for me, please?
No, because it's downstairs.
Well, can you go and get it?
I don't know where it is.
Or can you find it?
No, because
Can you ask your nan to find it? Shout down the stairs to your nan. Nan! Can you have a look for my bell, please? Chris wants to hear it. See how well that goes down.
No.
Oh, okay. Carry on, George. Sorry?
Just looking at the thing about what they're called, flying saucers.
Oh yes, flying. They're everywhere, you know. Flying saucers everywhere. Continue.
Yes. You can buy them from the sweet shop.
What, flying saucers? No, I don't think they're the same ones. I don't think you could eat an actual flying saucer.
And when you eat them, they've got like,
sherbet. Sherbet.
Inside.
Sherbet.
Yeah.
Nice. And that rice paper just melts on your tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know what they should put in those, George? Those little popping candies. You know, it's like a white powder you buy. I mean, I just think it's an excuse to get children hooked on drugs. I'm sure it is. You open this packet, there's like a white powder in it. I've often thought that was a bit suspect. And you put it on your tongue and it starts popping. Have you had that before?
Yeah.
You could put that in those little spaceship things, couldn't you? Those spaceship sweets.
You could, yeah.
Yes.
Are you seeing on my Facebook I'm doing walk every morning now?
Oh, are you? What are you up to now?
I'm up to 1990.
Oh, that's very good. So how long are you out for?
Over 2 hours.
2 hours to do 2,000 steps?
Yes.
Okay. Are you walking like quite slowly?
No, quite fast.
2 hours to do 2,000 steps? No, that's not possible. Because I've been out 3 hours today and I wasn't walking that fast and I've done 15,000 steps. So something's wrong there. If you're up for 2 hours, what did you say you'd done? 1,900 steps?
Yeah.
If you're out for 2 hours, and you're walking fast, I would imagine you're actually doing 19,000 steps. One moment, please. I shall now refer to my Facebook to have a look at your. Have you posted a photo of the app? Have you?
Yes.
No, it is okay. It's 1990 steps, 1,990. That don't sound right to me. There's something amiss there. Either you're not out to. Do you walk 2 hours and you don't stop fast?
Yeah, I'll just carry on walking.
I don't know what to say with that, George. If you're walking for 2 hours fast, you've got to be doing at least 20,000 steps. Now, it says 1990. Now, in my mind, if it had said 19,000, I don't know if that means 19,090 or 1,990. If you see what I mean. It's like, and
Yeah.
the one you did yesterday, it says 2031. Now, there seems to be a 0 missing on that. I can't see you just doing 2,000 steps in 2 hours. It's not enough, especially if you're walking fast. That don't make sense. Something's amiss there. Are you definitely going out for 2 hours?
Yes.
And you're not stopping?
No.
And you're walking fast?
Yes.
Try another app. That don't sound right to me. It can't be. If I'm out, say, 3 hours today, I've done 15,000 steps. And I have to keep stopping for rubbish. And then I'm prodding around in a bush. It sounds terrible, that, doesn't it? I'm prodding around in a bush, picking up cans and things. You must be doing more than that. You have to be. Which is good. Anything else, George?
Another thing as well. Guess what I had for breakfast today?
You told me earlier.
Poached eggs on toast.
I know, you told me earlier.
Yes.
Try another app. Thank you, George.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah, George, that don't sound right to me. Does it you, gang? Oh, what's this? There's a message here from George. Why is there a message there? That's strange. There seems to be a message here. Okay, 020-8144-3477. John Parrish says, you're very chirpy, happy tonight, dear. We love positive people. More positive than you think. Oh, no, Mike. More positive than you think. Thank you very much. Mike in Brighton says, I love all the UFA stories. You reminded me of the first album I ever bought, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Da, da, da. Frank Sinatra. He was the voice, weren't he? No one would have believed in the 21st century man was being observed, or something like that. And of course, then there was the song by the Carpenters, wasn't there? Calling occupants of interplanetary craft. We are observing your Earth, and one day we like to make a contact with you. We are your friends. Calling occupants. Please, someone who's listening to the radio tomorrow, when I do my show tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, remind me to play that, Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft, otherwise known as the bus service. There we are. Thank you, Mike. He said, War of the Worlds is on my playlist tonight after binging on the final 4 episodes of The One. Have you watched all that already? Gosh, I'm only on number 2. Because you watch them all in one go. See, I can't do that. I lose interest. It's a bit old school, really. I don't mind watching one a day, or maybe even 1 or 2 occasionally, but no more than 2 episodes in any one day. It's far too much. We must restrict ourselves, dear. Restrict yourself, and you'll get more out of life then, lovey. You can't just have more and more, dear, more and more. That's like this programme, that's why I have to restrict it to 2 hours a night. I mean, if I was on all night long, people would soon get bored, wouldn't they? We'd probably lost half the viewers that were here at 9 o'clock now, anyway. That's just how it works, dear. He says, if you like Black Mirror kind of films. No, you see, I watched Black Mirror. No, I didn't go with that one. Didn't like that one. But The One is really good. If you missed the show, you weren't playing the bingo last night or the radio show this morning. The One, that's on Netflix. And it's about this company that does matchmaking, except it doesn't use photos or biographies. Bios, whatever it's called. What they do is match up DNA. The One. On Netflix, One colour. Let's go to Daniel Woodhouse in Romford. A very good evening to you, Daniel Woodhouse. How is your face today?
My face is as radiant as ever.
Is it as radiant as ever? Mine used to be lovely before someone sat on it. Anyway, carry on, Daniel. Speak. Yeah.
Well, tonight, Chris, I'd like to talk about something that I may not have mentioned about before.
Yes?
The subject of uncircling the circle.
Uncircling the circle? What's that then?
Yeah, well, people of a certain age will remember the old circle line, the way it used to be.
Oh, we're talking about trains, are we?
I'm going on the circle line, yes.
We're talking about trains, okay?
Yeah.
Underground trains, yes.
Because someone's wrote this piece online called Uncircling the Circle, where turns out that for years and years, and probably about a century, they were trying to get rid of the circle line. It has never been popular, and they were trying to get rid of it.
Tell people that when you're on it. It always seems quite busy to me.
Yeah, well, because you'll remember the old circle line as it was when it went round and round and round.
Well, doesn't it do that anymore then?
No. Since December 2009, the circle line now, you might as well call it the teacup line, because it starts at Hammersmith on the Hammersmith and City line, right?
Yeah.
So starts Hammersmith, runs to Edgware Road, and then from Edgware Road, it then does one lap of the circle round and back to Edgware Road again. Yeah, and then the driver trains in, and then from Edgware Road, it's then the opposite way. Back.
Oh yes, I see it now. It's the yellow one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. It's been extended to the. Well, it's not the circle line then, is it? How can you extend a circle? Oh, well, that's mad. Well, I never knew that. You've taught me something new today.
Things like this have been there for years. It's all these delays, because when you run in say we run a normal train line, and you're running late, if you normally were supposed to get a 10-minute break at one end, and you're running late, well, then you cut 3 minutes off. You just wait 7 minutes, then you'll pick up time at the terminus and come back, and then you'll be back on time again.
I'm just going to show show the millions of people the picture of the circle line now, and you'll see what he means. See, they've extended it one way. Well, that don't kind of make sense at all. It's not really the circle line now, then, is it? So it goes from Hammersmith, you say, which is there.
Yeah.
Hammersmith there, and it goes right round to Edgware Road, and then you'll say it reverses back again.
Yeah. So Hammersmith, Edgware Road, one lap round, terminate Edgware Road again.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Okay.
Yeah. And the only bit of let's call it regulating point they used to have on the circle was at Aldgate, really, where, because that was the only platform where the circles would be on their own.
Yes.
You could regulate them there, but it wasn't always quite successful.
How strange.
Various schemes were tried over the years. I can remember one back in 1991 when our Auntie Shirley took me out one Sunday when it just so happened to be Notting Hill Carnival Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
There's too many people around that. Just too many people for me.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And this was when they used to terminate the Hammersmith and City line used to terminate Whitechapel.
Yeah.
And we boarded one at Whitechapel. When it had up on the board, first train, it came up at Baker Street. I remember it was, and I thought, that's weird. Why has it got a Baker Street?
Is it?
And then, we got going past Aldgate East, and we got to Liverpool Street. And then the driver goes, ladies and gentlemen, this train is now a circle line train. If you require the Hammersmith and City line, please wait here. And now I've read this, I found out what that was all about.
Oh.
That's because they were doing something called, it was once one lap round the circle trip. What you do, you start your Hammersmith and City line off at Whitechapel, and then but only go as far as Edgware Road. Then from Edgware Road, you then do one lap of the circle, and then from Edgware Road, then carry on to Hammersmith. So it's like, so you're giving it the circle a start and end point.
Well, it's all very strange to it. I never knew that. It just shows you how long ago I used to go on it. When I used to go to school, I think I mentioned before, we went on the district line. It was just Putney Bridge to Fulham. But occasionally, because it was a Catholic school, on holy days of obligation, we would walk to the church. The school was in Fulham, and the church was in Knightsbridge. And the entire school used to walk through the streets of London from the school to the church, the Brompton Oratory in Knightsbridge, in one block. We used to all go there. And it was about a 45-minute walk. So when the church finished, we would then go home. But then we'd get a train from South Kensington to Now, I think sometimes it went all the way through to Putney, or if you didn't have a train going straight there, you would get one and change at Earls Court. And I think it's South Kensington. Is the Circle Line South Kensington?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah, so I could be sitting there and sometimes we get a Circle Line train go past. But yeah, sometimes we'd go to Earls Court because it would be quicker to perhaps get another train coming in from somewhere else and onwards towards Richmond, which Putney Bridge was on the Richmond line, wasn't it? Or was it the Wimbledon? Was it the Wimbledon line?
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned Wimbledon. So, oh God, she's playing the answer phone now.
Who's playing the answer phone?
My mum.
Oh, well, you carry on,
I
dear.
hope
I hope it's not
listen
rude,
to
dear.
myself. No, I shouldn't have to.
Messages. Message 1. Friday, 11:28 a.m.
One moment, normal service will be resumed.
Oh, carry on, dear.
I think she's only got 3.
Message 2.
Oh, two to
I'll have a
go.
mint while I'm waiting for you. You take your time, darling. No in a rush.
Oh, she's pressing. It is.
Message 3. Monday, 1.
All right, Chris, while we're just waiting, can you just do me a favour
Yeah.
for my
anything
next
you want.
story?
Anything you want.
Could you just bring up look up to bring up a photo of C stock train?
What?
C stock train.
C stock train.
Yeah, because that might help explain it. Yeah.
Is this story much longer, dear?
Oh no.
We're starting to hemorrhage viewers now, darling.
It's just the last bit. I know. I'm sorry.
C stock. Is it C69?
Yeah, it could be. Yes, it could be 669.
Oh, look, little old red trains. Oh, lovely. They're old.
Yeah, it should be big. Big one with.
They're old. We don't want any of these namby-pamby trains where you have to open the doors yourself, darling. That's a proper underground train, that is.
Yes.
Says Moorgate on the front there. None of this self-service there, dear. A man was at the back.
Yes.
All the doors and close on their own. No DIY door button pushing, dear. What's all that about, eh? God's sake, man.
Well, the fact you mentioned Wimbledon brings me
Yes.
to the next bit of the story.
Yes.
The famous Circle Line cock-up of 1999.
What happened?
Well, what happened there was they had to do tunnel strengthening work from Gloucester Road to High Street, Kensington.
Yes.
And they had a choice. They could completely have suspended the Circle Line entirely, which they didn't want to have to do. So instead...
What was that about, suspenders?
Well, what they did was a combined district and Circle Line service. Picture this, right? A train starts at Wimbledon and then runs as a district line service to Edgware Road. But from Edgware Road, it then becomes a Circle Line, goes round the circle, and then when it gets to Gloucester Road, it then becomes a district line service to Wimbledon. Right. So you're doing Wimbledon, Edgware Road, King's Cross, Aldgate Embankment, Gloucester Road, and then Earls Court back down to Wimbledon.
You see,
and
that must have confused people.
Well, it certainly did, because what happened was then that first train I mentioned, that's going via King's Cross first, then round Embankment, then to Wimbledon. The train behind it would do the opposite. It would go Wimbledon, Embankment, Aldgate, King's Cross, and then back to Wimbledon that way. It did, not only that did it confuse people, drivers had to be in the right place at the right time, and none of them were. So they did it for about a week, I think.
Sounds a bit of a mess to me.
Oh, they did. Well, like I said, they did it for about a week, and after that, that was it. No, that someone said.
Well, we should clearly having you running London Transport instead of Mr. Khan, dear. Now we must move on to something very, very important now.
Oh yeah.
Now I have spies, Daniel.
Oh,
I have
God.
spies. And I have been reliably informed by one of my many spies that are watching you all the time. You never know when a piece of information is coming in to hear the studios of United Kingdom Talk / Reach On Air, brackets, Berkshire, close brackets. And the informant tells me that you've had a date. Is this correct?
No, not so much a date. No, there was some dating site that I'd been on for a while.
Yeah. Right.
But it was one of these where you had to. It was like I don't know, call it paper message or something like that.
A paper message. Oh,
yeah.
That sounds like a £10 note shoved through your letterbox with a message on it. Was it something like that? I like that.
No, it was like girls would send you messages.
Yes.
But then to respond, you'd then have to pay, and you pay like £10 for 7 messages.
Oh, is that like Tinder or Grindr?
Could be, I
Is
suppose.
What is the logo like? Now, which one
I
is
don't
it?
think they've even got one.
I've got so many different ones on here. I don't think my dating app things don't seem to work. I don't get any messages, and I don't know why that is. Let's have a look. Who have we got on here today? Simon, 29, Adrian, 25, 20. Oh, these are too young. Nick, Stuart, 40. He don't look 40. He's a liar. Stuart, 40. It's not. I can't show you their pictures. That would be unfair. Nathan, 20. He's too young. Too young. Why am I just getting these? Where's the sort of 35-ish ones? They're the ones we're after, dear. 26, 42. I don't think so, mate. They make me laugh, these people on these dating apps. 42. James, Phasian, Brad. Oh, I say. KL, 33. Oh, I'd love to show you this photo. That is my man there, darling. Oh, Angie's got rosary beads. I'm not going to show you. Oh, what? Oh, no. What have I just done? Oh, thank God for that. Hang on a minute. Let's just. Can I? I can't show you him. No, I can't just get the photo and show you. I was just going to show you the rosary beads. No, just a minute. Still no messages. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I don't seem to get any messages at all. Anyway, tell me about your paper date. Is it a paper date? You said.
Pay per date. Well.
Oh, pay per.
I ended up paying about £30 in messages and all just to keep this girl, try to keep this girl going.
30 quid. Sorry, when you said paper messages, I thought you meant paper, as in a piece of paper you write on. So pay per message.
Yeah.
So pay for each message. Well, how much is it to send a message?
Well, it was £10 per 7 messages. And really, as a man, what you want to do is just say, this is my number, and, call me on that, follow me on Facebook, whatever, that sort of thing. But these girls, they seem to be so hesitant about it. Or, do you know what I've got a feeling what they're doing, right? I think this is where something a little bit, which I think should be illegal, right, if this is happening. I reckon that these people who are running these certain dating sites, what they're doing, they're getting girls, they're recruiting girls more to actually be part of the dating site, like as if they're just ordinary members.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right, because I get on my... I don't like to say which things I'm on because people will only start looking to see if they can find me, look for mucky pictures. They won't find any mucky pictures of me, I'm afraid, darlings. Mm-hmm. There's no mucky pictures. I never, ever send mucky pictures to anyone. And I get matches. They're called matches. You know what I mean by a match? You get matched with people.
Who they think is compatible.
And I'm sorry, these people are way out of my league. They're like models that have just come off the telly. And you look at these people and you're thinking, you wouldn't be interested in me. And you just know, I seem to have perhaps a sixth sense of knowing that these are actually fake. So I think you're absolutely right by that.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right by that.
Got girls coming up. They're saying, most of them have got marital status single. Some have got marital status has a boyfriend. I thought, what? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, how careful you got to be, what's the point? Oh, I got a boyfriend. Oh, but what, he's no good, so I want to have two. Two on the go, bit on the side. that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
I'd never send rude pictures of myself to people, but the kids
No,
do it all the time.
I knew
When
someone
say
who did.
kids, I don't mean kids. I mean like the teenagers and the 20s. They send bits and pieces of each other all the time
Yeah, I know
over
someone who did.
WhatsApp or whatever. Isn't that right, Mike in Brighton? Oh dear.
Well, we was at a party once. It was someone's birthday, and there was this bloke sitting next to us, who always comes out with us, and he's going through his and he's passed his phone round. So here, look what I've got on my phone and all that.
Okay,
And then the phone's gone past me. I've just looked down and I've seen, well, something that, let's say something that perhaps I shouldn't have seen.
What from him?
Yeah, that he has on his phone that he reckons he's gonna pull the girls with. A photo of his
No.
Yeah.
They send that to ladies? Well, they're not ladies if they're asking for that sort of thing, are they, girls? Girls, what are you doing, dear?
Well,
And besides,
even I said to him, I said, Michael, that was his name. Girls are going to want to see more than just that,
Well, I think so.
That's just like, that's not the first thing they're going to want to see in you.
Oh no! Well, when I was DJing at Belushi's, that was just like a straight bar, and the fellas there would talk to me. There's no nice girls in here. All their entire conversation is, "Have you got your own place? What car do you drive? And what job have you got?" There was never any mention of, "Can I see a picture of that, please?"
Yeah,
How awful. Never mind. And as a matter of interest, did you send her any pictures like that at all? Did you?
Well, no, you couldn't. There was no picture.
Oh, thank God for that. So you spent 30 quid sending people this particular person messages?
Yeah, and I've only got 5 left.
Oh. What was the last message from her? So does she have to pay as well?
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. I'm wondering if it's this sexist thing that because they're women, they get it for free, or are they being recruited by them? I wonder, because she seemed to be going on and on and on. You think, has she got the money to?
She was going on and on and on. Well, you've got a great relationship there if you're looking for someone similar to yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, she seemed to have potential, but I'm just like getting a bit worried about when she says things like, "Oh, I'd rather not go worry about your Facebook yet or your phone number. I'd rather just stay talking to you on here."
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that's only so I'm spending more money.
Outrageous, isn't it?
Well,
Absolutely outrageous. Well, thanks for the call today, Daniel.
Okay, Chris.
Good luck. Well, I wouldn't bother sending her any more messages, my love.
No, I'm not.
No. 30 quid? Christ, you could have almost had an afternoon tea with that. Well, a quarter of an afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Cheerio.
All right then, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Bye, Daniel. There's our Daniel calling in. Oh, 30 quid talking to someone, dear. Hello to Built in Scotland. Good evening, Mick, who says, what if UFOs are time travellers from the future? Wow. They could be, couldn't they? Time travellers from the future. Is that exciting? Tell us what's going to happen soon. Maybe it's best that we don't know. We'd have known about the coronavirus and maybe taken a bit of action, wouldn't we? Good evening to Amelia Phillips tonight. She's looking forward to Easter. And Mike in Brighton says it was Richard Burton that narrated War of the Worlds. Yes, not Frank Sinatra, Richard Burton. My mistake. Thank you for your corrections there, darling. Thank you very much for your corrections, okay? 020-8144-3477 if you fancy a chin wag on the old blower tonight, okay? Or send your text in. 07451287337. Now, what else have we got today? Is there a manhole in your house? Do you know every inch of your house, do you think? Do you? Or perhaps there's something that you don't know about your house. In the Daily Mirror, a woman couldn't believe when she found an eerie bomb shelter under her house, under the floor in her bedroom. Again, that's quite exciting, isn't it? There was a story a little while ago as well. Some woman was doing some decorating. She took down the wallpaper and she found a hatch there and it led to another room that she didn't even know was in the house. This one's found a manhole in the bedroom. The bomb shelter even had a bedroom and ventilation. Jennifer Little from California revealed on TikTok that she moved some furniture only to discover a manhole. Her husband then climbed into the hole, although she said she got totally freaked out by the huge spiders. Yeah, Rachel likes spiders, don't you, Rachel? She is a big fan of spiders, the 8 legs. Have you watched it, Rachel? On Doctor Who, type in Planet of the Spiders, the best ever series of Doctor Who. 1970s, John Pertwee. All praise to the Great One. Do you remember that one, Daniel? Doctor Who, Planet of the Spiders. These spiders were just so unrealistic, it was unbelievable. Quivering away on people's shelves. All praise to the Great One. The Great One was the head spider. She had her own cave. And John Pertwee had to face her, and that's what made him change into Tom Baker. It was very good. Massive giant spiders. Jennifer has done a number of TikTok videos sharing her discovery of the shelter and what they found inside. Some very interesting stuff on TikTok. In one, which shows the manhole being opened, she said there's the 2 bunk beds, there's a urinal if you need it. Well, it's no good to girls, is it? How would a girl use a urinal? You can't, can you? Can you point? How does that work, ladies? I don't know. In the TikTok video exploring the shelter, people are in a very dark room shining a torch on areas of the spooky bomb shelter. Spooky, as Dame Edna would say. It's very dark and messy inside the shelter, and a load of hooks can be seen sticking out of the wall. Hang yourself up there. The man making the film says, there's bunk beds, a cabinet. This is a legitimate bomb shelter. Jennifer later filmed the bomb shelter's food store. In the further video exploring the shelter, Jennifer says this is the dry storage room for the bomb shelter. I'm not sure why they built it in this way. You'd have to leave the shelter to go into the dry storage room. And the hole, it's a reasonable size hole. You'd get down that, I think. Wow. And again, you just imagine finding something like that in your house. How exciting would that be? Do you remember they were selling nuclear bomb shelters? That wouldn't be a nuclear one. A nuclear bomb shelter has to have a lot of density all around it to stop the radioactives, because it's not just an explosion, is it, with nuclear? It's all the radioactive stuff. You can, nuclear explosion, if the blast didn't get you, but the radiation did, you'd probably die a much worse death affected by the radiation in the years after the explosion, rather than for the bomb to drop on your head and you to be vaporised. Do you like the idea of being vaporised? Just imagine that, boys and girls. I could be vaporised sitting here now, and then you could be breathing in me. I could be going down your throat and you wouldn't even know it. Isn't that funny? Isn't that a weird thing, thinking about that? Amelia says she loves the radio show in the morning. Thank you, Amelia. Back on tomorrow morning. Yes, there it is. Reach on air. Chris Reardon, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Next week, I'm doing a couple of 2-hour shows. I think it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week, that. Is that next week? One moment, please. Let me refer to my diary of information. What is it today? Today is the 22nd. The 22nd of March, isn't it? Yes, next week it is. 29, 30 and 31 I'm doing. And the 1st of April, which is Jimmy Butler's birthday. It's my little nephew's birthday. 23 or 24, I think he's going to be. Yes, and on... Oh, my God. Hang on a minute. So this week... 22... Where are we? Do you know, it's Palm Sunday this week? Where's that gone? Palm Sunday? You don't know what it is, do you? Oh, Shania, help me, darling. The heathens, dear. Heathens. They don't know what it is, Palm Sunday, love. What hope is there for the world? Palm Sunday, dear. Look it up. I'm not going into it now. So it's Palm Sunday this week. And then the week after... It's going to be Good Friday. But so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, next week, I'm doing 8 a.m. to 10 a.m, okay? Then it's Good Friday. Hot cross buns. I haven't had any bread for ages. No bread, except from McDonald's. I don't really class that as proper bread. Can have hot cross buns on on Good Friday. Then we have the 3 o'clock mass, which I'll be putting on the internet for you if you want to watch that special service. And then Easter Sunday with Easter eggs. And then, all things being well, the week after that, we might be able to go to the caravan. Very excited by that, okay? Anyone else want to call in today? 0208 144 3477 if you want to make a little chatette. And talking of McDonald's, if you're a McDonald's fan, I must say, I've started eating a bit of McDonald's here and there. You may have noticed that. I didn't used to do it at all. Very rarely. The only time up at my sister's house, generally with great nieces and nephews, it would be like an outing. Because there's no McDonald's near where they live. So it'd be an outing either to McDonald's or a Burger King. It'd be quite a nice little ride out, actually. Sitting in the fun bus, which my nephew drives, with the 2 children, annoying them. Then we go to the Burger King. I can't remember where it is now. We've stopped going there now because there was reports of rats around the back. Awful. But if you're a McDonald's fan, I've got some really good news for you. You can save some money this week in the Daily Star. McDonald's slashes 30% off everything on its delicious menu now. As in now. That's 30% off everything. That's not a bad deal at all, is it? I wonder why. Are they struggling? Not struggling, are they, to sell stuff? It says McDonald's is launching an epic 30% off sale through its app. So you've got to have the app. I beg your pardon, from tomorrow, from Tuesday, okay? From Tuesday. Delicious promotion includes all items from the menu. Everything on there, from the Big Macs to the McMuffins. So that's not bad, is it? Didn't they try that for a day the other week? I'm just going to turn on my oven now. Thank you. 1 minute. Where are we? Let's see I hope this works tonight. I'm a little bit, so disappointed that I've got a problem with it. So it says it's online, so we'll start that off. Oh, hang on. No, cancel that. Hang on. Conventional and fan oven we want, don't we? So we'll set that for 30 minutes and... and it's on. It's on. Okay. So fingers crossed that will work now. I'll be able to look at that in a minute and see if it's gone offline. Don't you hate that? Getting something in the post that doesn't work. And with an oven. Oh, it's just such a big, heavy blooming thing. Anyway. It goes on to say the fast food giant is launching 30% off sale through its McDonald's app on Tuesday. It includes money off everything from Big Macs to milkshakes and other sweet treats. I like the milkshake, don't you? The vanilla milkshake. Of course, it's worth noting prices do vary between branches. Okay? So be warned of that. So if you fancy McDonald's this week, 30% off everything. That's some decent saving. So if you're going to spend £10, about £10 per person, isn't it? Well, it is when I order it. I always have the same thing. Tell you what I have at McDonald's. I'll have medium. I have a veggie burger, chips and a vanilla shake. Sometimes I have a Coke as well, apple pie and an ice cream. And mozzarella sticks. Now, they're finishing soon, the mozzarella sticks. I bought a whole blooming tray full of them at Lidl the other day. That's the only thing with the McDonald's, when you get 3 in a little bag, don't you? So 30% off at McDonald's if you're interested, gang, okay? Yeah, Fran, we talked about that right at the beginning of the show, Fran. A year since the coronavirus lockdown tomorrow. We be throwing any parties? Probably not, eh? How are you going to not die from the vaccine? Sorry, how are you not going to die from the COVID? From the vaccine. From the vaccine. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Americans have been testing it. Oxford COVID vaccine is 100% effective against preventing serious disease. 32,000 volunteers have been tested. That's a decent amount of people. Every single one of them didn't get a serious disease after they had the AstraZeneca vaccine. The British one, dears. Oh, those foolish Europeans. Oh, we're not having that. Causes blood clots. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. In fact, less people had blood clots who were taking the vaccine who didn't. So it's just a normal amount of people. People get blood. Oh, just a little blood clot here and there. Don't worry about that, my love. God's sake, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. In the Metro, long-awaited results from the major new trial of the AstraZeneca vaccine in the US also proved it's safe to use. It's 79% effective against symptomatic COVID. Okay, that's quite high as well. I believe the annual flu vaccine is 50% effective. 50. This is 79%. Should stop you getting it. 79% of the people, it will stop them getting it. The rest of them, if they get it, you won't die. 100% effective, it says. The findings strongly endorse the use of the vaccine made by the drugs company AstraZeneca and the Oxford University scientists. Aren't they clever? Don't you wish you could be as clever as a scientist? Saving people's lives and, I don't know, making stuff like that. How clever is that? Volunteers in the United States, Chile and Peru were given 2 doses 4 weeks apart. A fifth of those involved were over 65, the age group most serious illnesses. A total of 141 people got COVID-19. That was reported among all the trialists, but none of them, 0, had to go to the hospital. They just got ill for a while and recovered. The degree of effectiveness for the injection was even higher than observed in the Oxford-led clinical trials, which led to it being given approval in the UK. So there you go. Don't want to die from the COVID? Have your injection. There's the proof. Stop reading these blooming people on the internet. Oh, it's got this, it's got that. Please don't even go there. And continuing on that little subject there, you might be able to, might be testing ourselves soon. It says in the Daily Mail, every adult will be encouraged to test themselves for coronavirus at least twice a week under new plans to help ease Britain out of lockdown. We're easing it slowly. Testing chiefs are pushing the message in the hope of identifying people without symptoms. See? A lot of people don't know. They're walking around perfectly normal. They don't know they've got it. Spreading it to other people, but they're not so lucky. That's why it's been so bad. They believe that getting people to regularly swab is vital in driving down the spread of the virus, and an advertising campaign will encourage British people to take the part. So we might have to all start testing ourselves twice a week. Don't like the idea. You see, that it would worry me, putting that thing up your nose. Like, I'd be frightened I'm going too far and you end up with a cotton wool bud coming out your eyeballs. Like, oh! Don't that bother you? I wouldn't want to do that myself. I want to go to a doctor or a nurse who knows what they're doing. Not me, amateur biologist Chris Reardon. Can I just check my oven? Let's see what that says now. Does it say anything? Let's have a look. Home. It doesn't say offline. I think it might be working. Hope it's working. So that's that. One of the things they're going to be watching is your sewage as well. They're going to be testing sewage. I don't know if I like the idea of people checking my sewage. Is it going to be a little bloke turns up outside with a little tumbler or something? Like when they test the swimming pool water. Is he going to put a little test tube down inside my pipes and pull out a bit of my sewage to check it? What's in here? What an horrible job. It's almost as bad as poor old Adam the plumber, dear. He has to do stuff like that, doesn't he? Ibiza concerts. Ibiza concerts. Have you ever been to one of those? Because I keep seeing these advertised on Facebook. And then there's one quite close to here, keeps getting advertised. Summertime Live Windsor with a classic Ibiza. Now, it's on Saturday, August the 14th, which I think is pushing it, to be honest, to go to a concert. I can't see it happening. I honestly can't see it happening. But it's been advertised Saturday, August the 14th, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Summertime Live returns to Windsor Racecourse with another headline show by Classic Ibiza. The Urban Soul Orchestra will take to the stage with a brand new set for 2021 full of iconic Ibiza anthems and brought to orchestral life under the stars. Doesn't that sound fantastic? Type it, when I finish the show, type it into YouTube. Classical Ibiza or Lush. Type in Lush Belfast, okay? And you'll see that sort of thing. It's an orchestra on the stage playing dance music. It's fantastic. That's one of the Radio 1 DJs, Pete, I think it's Pete Tong. He's got his own orchestra. Pete Tong's Ibiza sets and stuff, and he has the whole orchestra on the stage. Violins, drums, bass guitar, everything's on there. It's amazing. It says, plus a festival-style site with DJs, live performers, street food, glitter makeup stalls and loads more bars. You can get drunk as well. And it's Ibiza. It says it's an evening concert. There's no horse racing on the day of the event. Well, thank God for that. Where the horses going to go? I don't know where the horses would go. I suppose they could be dancing along to the music. It says tickets £10 to £37.50. And that's at Windsor. It's not far from here at all. Really. In fact, have I cycled there? Let me have just a zoom in there. Have I cycled there? I think I might have cycled there. Let's have a look. Eton. Oh, no, it's a little bit further than what I cycled. No, I cycled as far as Ascot. Because Ascot's not far from here. Okay, so it's a little bit further along. Does it sound amazing? Does that sort of appeal to you at all? Something like that? Oh, Fran Green, you'd like to go there, wouldn't you? An Ibiza concert. I bet there's sort of older people there as well. There won't be any annoying kids with their R&B, will there? Be proper house music. House Nation. Jump around. Jump around like that, isn't it? Is that one? Who sings that one? Have you ever noticed something strange on a TV programme? Now, this sort of thing I would never notice, to be honest. And often I get DJ Chris notices things wrong with TV programmes, continuity things. Now, by continuity, you see that clock behind me there. If I was recording this show, and I stopped for a cup of tea or something like that, I don't know, something to eat. And I went downstairs and I come back up, 10, 15 minutes has passed, right? I would then have to reset that clock to the time that I stopped so it continues, continuity. Otherwise, it would look odd. Because I haven't told you I'm going for a cup of tea, right? So I'd have to stop the show, keep an eye where that second hand is there, and then restart that clock exactly at that time and pick up from there so it looks like it's just continuing. That's continuity. But people seem to notice things on the telly, and I would never notice something like it. Apparently it happened in Line of Duty. That's back on the telly last night. I was a bit confused, to be honest. Line of Duty fans were thrilled to be watching the first instalment of the hotly anticipated new series, but some eagle-eyed viewers were baffled as they noticed an error. This is in the Daily Star. You see, I don't look for problems with the telly. I just let the programme sit there and entertain me, rather than pointing out or looking for faults in it. Funny, innit? Some people are like not watching it for the... We had it on this programme for ages. Oh, the clock's crooked. Oh, your collar's not right. Oh, there's a little mark here. Oh, dear. But people notice it on mainstream telly. It says eagle-eyed fans didn't let the BBC get away with a major continuity area. The characters were heading to the robbery in 2 BMW cars, remember that? But one of the vehicles was swapped to an older BMW estate. It then changed back again, leaving fans perplexed on Twitter. There they all are on Twitter, aren't they? Shouting and screaming at each other. Has social media made the world a better place? Absolutely not. No way. One said, sorry, what was with the BMW continuity area on line of duty screamingly obvious? Another fan says, can't be the only one who noticed the car change between shots. Well, I mean, I never noticed it. Did you? Did you notice anything like that? A third added, poor continuity there, an older BMW estate making a brief appearance. Line of Duty was thinking that's strange. They're using a 10-year-old BMW E61. You see, these people are obviously into cars. I'm not. Maybe my brother-in-law would have noticed something like that, or even my nephew. I wouldn't notice something like that. They said they're using a 10-year-old BMW E61 and then mysteriously it changes to a 2020 model with the same plates. A fifth typed, when did the convoy suddenly ditch? And it goes on. People just finding bits wrong with it. I don't know. All a bit odd, really. Would you notice something like that? Isn't there something in The Sound of Music, I think, where someone's at a window and you see someone jump out or walk along the front there somewhere? I don't know. Something to do with The Sound of Music, I think. Mandy, thank you, Mandy. Jump Around, House of Pain is the song. That's the one. Jump, 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 jump around. That one. Jump, 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 jump. We like that one. Like a bit of house music. Got one more story for you today, gang. Mike in Brighton. I was watching... Where has he gone? I was watching a late night shopping channel. Oh, you don't watch those, do you buy anything from those? I've got a clock from QVC, I kid you not, that I bought 30 years ago in my bathroom. A battery clock from QVC. And it's one of those ones connected to the radio waves, you know. So it always tells the right time. It's a bit battered and bruised now, but it still works perfectly all right. QVC, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. That one, yeah. Mike says I was watching a late night shopping channel and I was engrossed in an air fryer. They placed 8 chicken breaded breasts. So I'll rewrite that for you. They placed 8 dead animal breaded breasts into the oven. After 15 or so minutes, they went back to the finished cooked chicken and somehow there were only 7 in there. The camera did lie, as did the shopping channel. And so you mean to say that it was already done? I bought one of those, an air thing. I don't know what I don't think it was. It was a Tefal. Let me see if I can find it. Tefal fryer. Tefal air fryer. No, it's none of those ones. It's none of those. This. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me have a look at images. Tefal air fryer. No, it's none of those. Anyway, this thing, I can only describe it as like a glass bowl, right? With a lid. And when he turned it on, the whole thing was red because it was infrared. I don't think it was a proper air fryer. I don't know what it was. I'm sure it was Tefal. Anyway, this glass, it just got so hot and it worried me. It really worried me. You know, what if that thing just suddenly explodes? Because that does happen. You hear of people's oven doors suddenly shattering, glass everywhere. And it would worry me that this thing... Anyway, I sent it back in the end because I put these chips in there and like 45 minutes later, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. Diana Ross. Ooh, ooh. If you need me, just call me. I'll be there. That one, yeah. Anyway, back to the story. So this thing, it all glowed red when the infrared thing come on, and the chips were there and on their little basket thing. It just was so slow, didn't work. So I sent it back. Amazon, that was. Didn't work. They obviously already did that first, did they, my darling? Never mind. One more story for you today, gang. Imagine taking your dog in somewhere and you get the wrong dog back. Oh, 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 oh. Yes. It's another TikTok video in the Daily Mirror. TikTok user shared a comparison of her dog before and after it visited the groomers. And the video has been viewed by millions of people. A dog owner has joked they must have picked up the wrong animal from the groomers after the pet was left almost unrecognisable. Now, my sister, she does her own dog. She gives it a little bit of a haircut and she does a very good job. Ain't funny when dogs have had haircuts. Don't they look fantastic? Get rid of that old grey. I've got to do my hair this week. Look, I mean, it's almost touching the floor. Look, dear, look. It then jumps. The lady posted a video showing before and after the companion capturing the fluffy white dog looking into the camera prior to the haircut. It then jumps to the results of the makeover, and the clip has raked up more than 1 million views. You see, this is what I'm doing wrong. I need to borrow a dog. Do you want to see a before and after? Do you want to see before and after this dog? Now I've just got a text which says to me, oven temperature reached. So it's worked. See, it's worked this time. Oh, I don't know. Hang on a minute. There we go. So there's your before picture. Oh, look at that. What sort of dog is that? Anyone know? It's not a poodle, is it? What sort of dog is that? There's the before its haircut. It don't look very happy. Oh, it does look happy in the other picture, funnily enough. Hang on, let's do this as well. It looks happier in the other picture. Hang on. Where are we now? Oh, no, that's wrong. Oh, there we go. So there's your before one, right? And then, look, it's got a smile now. It doesn't have a smile in the other picture, does it? Hey, where is it? There it is. Not smiling. Not smiling, smiling. She thought she had the wrong dog. The close shave appears to have completely transformed the shape of the dog's body as it turned the furry ball into something far more slender and completely exposes the floppy ears, which were previously hidden under the white hair. I love it. I love it. There we go. Now, I just was watching a YouTube video. By the way, can you hit the little like button if you can, my darlings? The little like, thumbs up button under the thing before you disappear today. I meant to mention for you, Daniel, actually, I was just watching a YouTube video just before I come up the stairs. I haven't finished watching it yet. And there's a video. The YouTube channel, I believe, is called Simply Railway. I'll just check that for you because I think you'll like that. One moment. Yep, that's it. The YouTube channel, type in Simply Railway, okay? And there's a video there of a bloke who goes on a train from New York to Miami. That's a very long journey. Very, very long journey. It goes on this sleeper. And it takes you into New York. And they've built a new station. I remember going to New York train station. Oh, my God. So busy. It was so busy in there. Anyway, they've built a new part to the station, and he's going on the sleeper service from New York to Miami. And it's got lounges as well, just like in an airport. It's got Amtrak. That's the name of the railways in America, Amtrak. They go all over the country. I don't know how popular they are. You never really hear of Americans, do you? Talking about their trips on a train. You never ever hear that, do you? Funny, isn't it? Whereas here, English people, we love the trains. You know, they do have a sleeper service going up to Scotland, which I gather is very comfortable. I've never been on it. I'd love to go on it, but If I was to do that, I'd have to come from here and get the train to London, to Waterloo, and then I'd have to cross on the tube to go to Euston, and then up to Scotland on the sleeper service from there, I suppose. I don't know if King's Cross, you can do it from King's Cross as well. I would assume maybe you can, maybe you can't. But I'm sure from Euston, then I could get on a sleeper service and you wake up in Scotland. How fantastic would that be? But it's just doing all the mucking around, getting to Euston in the first place. Whereas you can just jump in a car, can't you? Not so much fun in a car. No, it's not. It's all right driving for an hour or two. But, 12 hours. Oh, cool, blimey. So you might want to have a look at that, all right? Once again, the channel word, Daniel, is called Simply Railway. And it's got all sorts of stuff on there. What else has he got? Talking about train coaches, New York to Boston, above all these different trains. Oh, wonderful. Lapland Express. Oh, that sounds great, doesn't it? Anyone go on a train holiday or anything like that? My aunt did with my uncle before he died. I'd quite like to do that, a train holiday. No strain of having to drive, none of these bleeding planes all over the place. That'd be quite a nice thing, wouldn't it? One more message from Michael in Brighton. I love the French poodles after they are groomed with little balls around their joints. Oh, yeah, they're good to do that, don't they? The balls of air around their legs. All right, gang, that's it for the show today. Gang, do you want to listen to my friend later on? He's on the radio. Alan Ross, 12 till 3 a.m. now he's on, 12 till 3 a.m. 3 hours of fun from Mr. Alan Ross tonight from midnight, gang. I'll be on the same station tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is showtime. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock showtime, reachonair.com. Okay? Here you are. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed our little show tonight. Back again on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock on this channel. If you've got any stories, I think someone sent us a story today, which I've completely missed. Where was it now? Someone sent me a story. I don't think it came on the email, though. It came from something else, which means I've lost it. Never mind, darling. Thank you, whoever that was who sent in the story. Thank you very much. I'll see you again Wednesday night at 8 o'clock for another chat show on this channel. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'm going to go downstairs and see how well my potatoes and sausages are doing in the oven. Cheerio!